Welcome to Wealth Beyond the White Coat, a show where we dive deep into the world of financial freedom for dentists and medical professionals. I'm your host, Darren Flesher, a dentist with a passion for uncovering the strategies that lead to a prosperous life beyond the office. Every episode will explore the avenues of alternative investing, tax mitigation, and secrets to build wealth that the textbooks don't teach you. Whether you're looking to enhance your financial literacy, discover new investment opportunities, or simply find a better way to manage your money, this is the place where your financial health is the core of our conversations. Welcome to Wealth Beyond the White Coat, where your journey to financial clarity and freedom begins. Today, I'm excited to welcome Dr. Tyler Brady to the show. He is not your traditional dentist. He's a visionary in the field who's carved out a unique path by embracing innovation and pushing the boundaries of what a dental practice can be. As the founder of Haven Dental, Tyler's created a practice that not only prioritizes exceptional patient care, but also focuses on creating a positive impact in the community. And his approach to dentistry is all about breaking the mold, whether that's through fee-for-service models, creating practice management, or creative practice management, or integrating cutting-edge technology. His journey is a testament to how thinking outside the box can lead to not only a fulfilling career, but also significant financial success. So today we'll dive into how Tyler's unconventional strategies have helped him build wealth beyond the white coat and what lessons other dentists can learn from his experience. So with that, welcome to the show.
Thanks. That was a really nice intro. That made me feel good about myself. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
We're chatting here on Labor Day weekend. We were just talking about how you've done different things in dentistry and tried to avoid being the 80-year-old dentist in the chair. So I'd love to hear more about your story, what you're doing differently. You're no longer in startup mode. So I'd love to hear your evolution over the last 6+ years and maybe what got you started and down this different path and how maybe things you've changed or wish you'd have done differently. So just share a little bit about your journey and tell us about your practice, what's going on in it right now.
Cool. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I grew up with entrepreneur family. My mom's siblings especially were very much trying new business ideas. And I remember as a kid, my uncle started a jet ski rental company out of his garage. And
Okay.
he loved jet skis. He loved doing stuff like that. And
Yeah.
now he actually owns a motorcycle company that got third place in the Dakar Rally just this last year. And he's one of those guys. He's all over the place. And he was an awesome example of pick something that you love and
Yeah.
learn how to get really good at it and do it differently. And Haven Dental, we opened in February of 2018 is when we saw our first patient, February 8th. I'll never forget. And I've always had that contrarian mentality of, okay, this is the conventional way. I can do that, but what could I do differently? What's something I can, one, set myself apart, maybe to be a bigger influence in the community, have more patients coming in the doors from a purely marketing aspect, but also maybe there's a better way to do this. Maybe there's a better way to get things rolling. One of the things I guess that stands out in my mind the most, I had a little nudge from COVID. We got word, hey, we're going to have to shut down. We don't know when we'll open again. And I remember that day turning off my Google AdWords, turning off all the ads I had running and just thinking, okay, I'm not going to spend money on stuff if people can't come into the office. So what can I do? And I think it was a few weeks later, it was like, okay, sounds like we're going to open back up in the next couple months. We're in Texas, so we opened up a little sooner than other places, but I thought I was spending thousands of dollars on Google AdWords. What can I do differently to get this place up and running fast? And I thought, what if I just took a chunk of that budget and gave away a veneer case? Let's start something. We're creating a positive influence in the community. We're giving somebody something that they want or need, and we're going to change their life. I feel like that would be much more fun than just pumping more money into this Google machine and seeing what pops
Yeah.
out at the end.
Yeah. I feel like that was a fun time to really just try something new or go heavy into some totally different direction and just see what sticks. So yeah, that's a really cool idea. How'd that go for you?
We went really well. I felt as we were all just shoved off the cliff. There wasn't okay, am I going to jump or not? It's no, we're going to mix things up. It went really well. We did it for about 2 years, actually. I started it quarterly and then we did it monthly. And then it just got to be to where it was an overwhelming amount of work. It took up a big chunk of my schedule. Some of these cases that comes in, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish this was just veneers, but there's a lot of other things we have to do here. So it was good. And we still do it. I do it quarterly again now, and that's a manageable amount. And it's really fun because you get to meet people online that you wouldn't normally meet. You get to help people who normally wouldn't be able to afford something like that. And it's created a lot of like intangible value for me as a practitioner and like helping people and not just doing fillings and extractions.
Yeah,
So
and your real cost on that's your lab fee, right? A little bit
yeah,
of materials and the staff you were going to pay anyway. So it's
yeah,
awesome marketing. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that a lot.
thanks. And then from that, we were doing so many cases. I was like, it would be really nice if I could mill these things out same day or at least within a few days. I saw a dentist in Colombia that had people come down there and they would get their smile makeover done in a weekend. And I thought, oh, that'd be nice. We'll try something like that. And so I looked at buying a milling machine, and that opened a big old can of worms.
Yeah.
Now I have two milling machines that will mill out 20 units at a time. And we have our own in-house lab. I have three technicians, and that has created a whole other world that I have to manage, which I really enjoy. I've learned a lot. My preps have gotten better, and it's becoming a revenue stream that I don't necessarily have to be in the office to to manage. There was a probably a 3-year learning curve to get where we're at,
Yeah.
um, but it's been good. It's been fun.
So do you feel like this focus on kind of niche dentistry, cosmetics, especially with your practice, has that really led to greater success for you? Has that kind of also sparked more joy in what you're doing as far as your pursuit of dentistry as well?
For sure. Yeah. When I finished school, I was not planning on being a cosmetic dentist. I was planning on helping people. I was going to go, in fact, I went and worked in a Medicaid focused clinic my first year out of school just because I wanted to help people. I was on Medicaid here and there growing up and with my own family through school and stuff. And I really wanted to pay it back. Like I felt like that was a great program that got me the things that I needed when I needed it, and I wanted to be able to give back to people. And then I saw the effects of cosmetic dentistry on patients, and it started pulling me that direction. So I guess going with the theme of the podcast, being open-minded to where, call it the universe, call it God, whatever you want, but being open-minded to where I'm being pushed as a dentist or just in life in general, I think it has led me to a lot of opportunities.
Are you overwhelmed by dental school loans or practice related debt, credit cards, mortgage payments, car loans, and more? Imagine a future where your financial burdens are not just reduced, but on track to be eliminated entirely. That's what our soon to be launched solution offers, a powerful, tailored version of the Shred method designed specifically for dentists. This isn't your typical debt reduction strategy. It's a groundbreaking approach to managing cash flow, cutting down interest payments, and accelerating your journey to financial freedom. With this new method, you'll discover how to optimize your income and debt management like never before, keeping more of your hard-earned money where it belongs. Want to be among the first to take advantage of this innovative debt solution? Contact me at darren@legacypointgroup.com. That's DEREN at legacypointgroup.com to join the waiting list and stay in the loop. Your journey to a debt-free life is just around the corner. Stay tuned.
That I definitely would not have had otherwise.
Yeah,
Following the
that's cool.
conventional way, you're going to get conventional results. You're going to have a conventional life. And I think that's great for a lot of people. But we're also being pushed by economics and by things that are out of our control, the cost of living, the cost of education. And so I think I'm glad you're doing this podcast because I think that it's helping people see we're being pushed in an unconventional way in our careers that is out of our control. So we're going to have to come up with unconventional ways to make a living and to be successful.
Yeah, agreed. I want to go back to something you talked about a minute ago because I'm sure there's
Yeah,
more there to it. The role of technology in your practice and how that's really enhanced both your experience, but also the patient's experience. Talk a little bit about kind of the things you folded into your everyday that are probably not everyday things for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm an early adopter, I guess you might say, of technologies. There's things that I see, and if I can afford it, I like to at least try it out. These milling machines have been great. They're not cheap, they're not easy to maintain. It's a full-time deal, but it's given us a lot of opportunity to do things that we're not able to do, even just cost-wise. It can save on lab fees. But yeah, I have three Iteros in my office. I just got a Trios. I love the Trios. I've got three different 3D printers. Everything's done digitally. We still do some things analog, but all of our night guards are printed now, things like that. And I think it's a selling point somewhat for patients, but it's also being an earlier adopter of some of these technologies. For me, I feel like everybody has a 3D printer. Everyone has like this stuff that
That's just because that's who you're talking to is people
yeah,
who think like you, but it's not the norm for
it's not
everybody
the
for sure.
norm. No,
Yeah.
but being able to get comfortable with this stuff earlier on, just in the same way that learning implants and learning veneers early in your career will enable you to get better at it earlier, and then you can really contribute to the industry, to the field when you've mastered the skills you need. And you're not learning how to click and drag icons, you're creating three-dimensional images on a computer that can be printed. And I
Yeah.
think the more we can keep up with that technology, I think the happier we'll be, the more fulfilling our careers will be, because we'll feel, I think, a more sense of accomplishment in what we're doing for sure.
Yeah. You talked about being an early adopter and it sounds like you've pretty much grabbed onto everything currently available to you. Is there anything that you see that's around the corner or something you're just now starting to try out? Anything on the horizon for you that you think is going to be your next thing? Is there any new
Um,
technology or anything that you've got your eye on?
There's kind of two different things I'm working with, or one I'm working with and one I want to get into soon. I want to get a hard tissue laser for, I have soft tissue, but I want a hard tissue for taking old veneers off. I feel like the technology's there, it exists, you can do it, but it does take a little time. So that's why I haven't adopted that one yet. I feel like it's not quite where I want it to be as far as removing old crowns. And then the one I'm getting with is more like a trend in dentistry, and it has less to do with technology. I've been doing more of the diamonds in teeth,
Okay. Okay.
getting to that, and it's fun. It's brought a new patient pool, and it's really fun. You meet some personalities and some people that I would never have thought I could meet. And it's been really fun. There's a community there and it's growing pretty quickly. And it's
Yeah.
really fun. It's a little more artsy, a little more fun. And I'll say
What?
too, there's some places that are doing it that are taking a jeweler's approach or
Mhm.
taking a lab technician's approach. And the lab that I use and the mentor that I have has taken an approach of a jeweler and a lab tech, and it's extremely high quality. And I think it's going to help the industry a lot to maybe not head that direction, but improve the quality of restorations. And it's really neat to see.
Yeah, that's an interesting trend for sure. There's definitely it seems so simple. It's this little jewel on your tooth, but there's so many ways to screw that up, I'm sure, with
Yeah.
both the hardware, but also the teeth and all how it sticks and all that stuff. That's awesome that you're taking a high quality approach to that even. What's your most unique request that you've had so far when it comes to jewels and teeth?
So I've only done a few cases, and we're able to custom cut diamonds into any shape. We have a jeweler, a diamond cutter that will do that for us. And so people are doing like hearts. I have a guy who messaged me over the weekend and wants a heart and a star on his premolars. So we're going to do that for him. I haven't done a lot of really unique stuff. My mentor has done some pretty crazy stuff, some
Okay.
rated R things for some TV personalities that
Okay.
was meant as a joke, and they did it and they left it on for a little while and took it off. But it's just like, oh my gosh, people have too much money to go cut a diamond in that shape and then
Yeah.
glue it on and make a YouTube video for a while. It's funny, but yeah,
You
it's a
you
niche for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. You seem really intentional with everything you do. I'd love to talk more about branding and how you strategize when it came to everything related to your outward appearance with you got a very sleek website. I was on it earlier. It's black and gold and very refined. And Talk a little bit about what went into that process for you and what you think others should maybe pull from that as far as what they show to the world with their brand.
Yeah, this started in high school for me. I knew I wanted to be a dentist. I wasn't sure if I would make it. So I thought, okay, let me go get a business degree. And that helped. I wouldn't say it's necessary. I was talking to a dentist the other day and saying he went and got an MBA and it was helpful, but it wasn't necessary to do what I'm doing. I don't feel like, I don't know. But I noticed early on in my business classes, having those core values, having that mission statement, and having that objective before you start anything will solve so many problems and help with so many decisions, and it will create the brand for you. And so I did that in college. Okay, if I get into dental school, if I become a dentist, what kind of dentist do I want to be? It doesn't have anything to do with root canals or diamonds or veneers or fillings, but then it has everything to do with it. I just want to do high quality work that I feel good about and I want to help people. And so when I was just getting rolling with my startup, I came up with my three core values. I wanted trust with my staff, myself, and my patients. I wanted service. I wanted to be able to help people. And I wanted progression. I wanted to be constantly looking for the next thing I can work on to either improve the way I'm talking to my employees, the way that I'm running my business, or the treatment that I'm giving my patients. And then all of that created Haven Dental for me. I didn't have to go from the ground up anymore. When I'm hiring employees, I go off of those three core values. Are they going to live these three things? I'm not starting a cult. I'm not starting a religion. I know people have lives outside of work, obviously. But while they're here for that 40 hours a week, are we going to all be on the same page of living those things and creating value for each other and enjoying what we do for a living? And that's what I really wanted. And there's been mistakes made along the way.
Hey, I just want to interrupt real quick and say thanks for listening to the podcast. If you didn't know, we have an associated Facebook group also called Wealth Beyond the White Coat. Over there, you can ask your questions, get feedback from group members, and have a close community of medical professionals who are likely interested in the same things as you. Whether it's alternative investing, tax mitigation, ways to keep more of your money, or even protect your assets, we're going to discuss those things in the group. Additionally, we have a private investors club called Legacy Point. As a member, you'll get exclusive discounts to preferred vendors, and you'll get access to private investments that you'll find nowhere else. Whether it's hotels, apartments, oil and gas, equipment rental, you name it, we'll be discussing those details and offering those investments to members only inside Legacy Point Group. If you want to learn more about that, please contact me or simply email info, I-N-F-O, at legacypointgroup.com or go to the website legacypointgroup.com. And Wealth Beyond the White Coat podcast listeners get an exclusive discount if you use the code WealthBeyond. That's all caps, all together, Wealth Beyond at checkout. I'd love to have you in the group, and I'd love to see you making more passive income as you move towards financial freedom, whether it's freedom to retire early, spend more time with your family, go on more vacations, or just do more of what you love while you're in the operatory. I'd love to see you doing that as part of Legacy Point. So here's to improving your financial health.
Don't get me wrong. I feel like I've made more mistakes than the average dentist also. Some of them have been extremely expensive mistakes, but they've been learning experiences. They've taught me a lot. And I feel like in the long run, it's going to put me ahead for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. It's interesting that you say that you don't feel your business background was necessarily necessary. I personally, if I could go back and redo things, that's probably the route I would have taken. I feel like dentists don't get enough of that. And maybe
Yeah,
you just have, I don't know, put that in the back of your brain and just built on that and don't realize how impactful that was. I actually majored in psychology, and I think that also helps with what we do.
for
All we do
sure.
is manage people all day long. So whether
Yeah,
it's business or people, I mean, not that anything was ultimately dentistry is just a pathway, and you have to still build on that post school for sure. Like, I would argue that school gets you maybe at most 50% of the way there, at most. The rest is really on the job training and your own personal desire to grow your abilities, your business acumen, all that kind of stuff. Even with your business background, do you feel like there's anything that you've been able to leverage as far as your knowledge and schooling or some of that history with the jet ski family member? Anything that you feel like you've grabbed from somewhere else that wasn't dentistry that impacted how you do business?
Yeah, I think having other family members, some of them have had really successful business ideas, and some were even temporarily successful. And then a law changes or something happens and you're out of business overnight. I had an uncle do that. I think just going back to that being flexible, being open-minded, and this goes, I don't even remember where I first heard it, but when Bruce Lee talks about moving like water,
Hmm.
you've got to be adaptable and stop fighting the regulations and fighting this and fighting that, but just work with it and figure out the best way to use what you have. There's been months where we didn't have the budget to do things that we wanted to do, and you still find a way to make it work. Or, okay, how far can we take this idea? Or do we need to wait? Do we need to wait till next month? Do we need to wait till next year? When I opened my office, I definitely didn't have the budget for even a cone beam or a 3D printer. I didn't have the budget for a digital scanner. We did everything analog. But then there's other things that I did to still make it feel like we were on the cutting edge of technology for my patients, and things that I really wanted to do, whether it's even just the lab you're working with. They do a lot of things digitally. So the model comes back and it's 3D printed. You can show a patient and they're like, oh, wow, that's really neat.
Hmm.
It didn't cost me anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Talk a little bit about, you're in a super competitive market down there in the Dallas area. What do you do to maintain patient loyalty? What's your focus there? How do you keep people choosing you? Is there anything you feel like you do very intentionally and anything that just happens in your practice that's what you're building from a culture standpoint? What brings people back to Haven Dental?
Yeah, I think going back to those three core values, I feel like we as dentists over time get jaded to reality, what a patient goes through, the things that they feel, the things that they're afraid of, the things that they can or can't do economically. And then also insurance plays a role in that. It just burns us out, you
Hmm.
know. But I think the thing that gets patients coming back is I am myself with them. I am real. I'll sugarcoat things a little bit. I want to educate them in a way that they can understand. I'm not going to say, oh, your PDL's widened. And so at this point, it's irreversible pulpitis. They don't know what that means. And I think we as dentists tend to talk to people that way and they go, okay, great. How much is it going to cost?
Hmm.
So I teach a veneer course, a one-on-one veneer course. And I was telling the doctor the other night that I've never sold a treatment plan at Haven Dental. I'm not a salesperson. I'm here to help my patients get what they want. And half of the time, they walk in the door telling me what they want, and I just help make it happen. So, being on social media and being myself on social media, people know what they're getting into when they walk in the door, and they can go back after they've come in and tell their friends exactly what they're going to get. And their friends come in, and most of the time, it's exactly the same. So I think consistency and being real and being empathetic. I think empathy is extremely important, and exercising that muscle as regularly as possible will get you really far in life in general.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't remember who said this. I'm going to paraphrase it. But you hinted at this with giving them, if you give somebody everything that they want, you'll basically get what you want in return. You don't have to be a salesman to have a great living and have a great life in dentistry. You can definitely do that by making your patients satisfied and happy and taken care of and all that. So I resonate with that and think that's a really cool approach from your perspective.
Thanks. I'll say
Um,
too, coming out of school, you hear at least, I don't know, I've been out a little while, the $1 million practice. Oh man, that's every dentist dream to hit
yeah,
$1 million. And I wasn't sure if I would get there. It was like, okay, that's a lot of fillings.
yeah,
That's a lot of cleanings. And I think sometimes we limit ourselves on what we can and can't do in our own heads. I don't consider myself above average intelligence person. I don't consider myself an extremely hard worker. I think I work hard, but I will consider myself someone who doesn't give up. And I can hold a vision and stick with it for a long time. And I
Yeah.
think coming out of school and thinking, oh, $1 million practice would be really nice one day. And I've done that. And then thinking the next number, I've done that. And the other day I was thinking, what's holding me back from hitting the next number? And maybe that's not the best motivation. Maybe it's the number of patients that you help, or the number of doctors that you teach, or the number of great jobs you provide. There's nothing holding us back from doing those things except our own minds. And I think that's super, super important. And I'm familiar with a few dentists who have realized that. There's one guy I did a podcast with, I think about a year ago, who doesn't work anymore. And he graduated after I did because he didn't have that limiting belief of, I have to work. I have to be a hands-on dentist or I'm not going to make an income. He found a way to make work. There was a lot of sacrifice. There was a lot of patience and maybe a little bit of luck, but I don't think luck is involved as much as people think that it is. I think you make your own luck. And he's doing really well. He's got
Yeah.
a nice, at least one nice car I know of. And he even posts up about, I didn't think I could ever be here, but I knew if I worked hard, I could give it a good shot. And he did it. And I'm proud of him. I don't think I've even told him that, but I watch him from a distance and I'm like, man, good for you. Good job. And
Yeah.
anybody can do that. Anybody can do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, in this episode, we explored the unique journey of Dr. Tyler Brady, the founder of Haven Dental. From his unconventional marketing strategies, like giving away life-changing veneer cases, to embracing cutting-edge technology with the in-house milling machines and 3D printing, Dr. Brady's approach to building a practice has been anything but traditional. His commitment to breaking the mold of dentistry, whether through innovative services or cultivating a culture of trust, service, and progression, has led to significant professional and financial success. But that's just the beginning. Next time, we'll dig deeper into how Tyler balances his growing practice with family life and explores the challenges of scaling his business while staying true to his values. Make sure to tune in for part 2. Thanks for listening in to Wealth Beyond the White Coat. Your time and attention mean a lot to us. If you found value in today's episode, please consider leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform and share it with your colleagues and friends. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more professionals like you striving for financial freedom. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of your financial health. Thank you for joining us on this journey to wealth beyond the white coat.